Order the Village of Villa Park Board of Trustees meeting, July 22nd, 2024. Clerk Herneke, please call the roll.
Trustee Alfano,
Here.
Trustee Cordova, Trustee Corkery, Trustee Kozar,
Here.
Trustee Kumar. Here. Trustee Patrick.
Here.
President Kazone.
Here. And if we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this evening. May we have meaningful discussions that will help us to assist our village in these trying times. Help us to make the decisions that will affect the staff, directors, and residents of Villa Park. Guide us through the challenges we face, and may we approach each other with respect and kindness as one group. In your name, amen. Okay, we'll go on to item number 3, amendments to the agenda. Do we have any amendments proposed? Okay, seeing none. Public comments on agenda items. Clerk Herneke, anyone signed up?
Yes, Joel Morey regarding 13A.
Okay, and just as a reminder, comments are limited to 3 minutes, and to help speakers kind of see where they're at, we do have a clock now that'll time down. So just kind of help you be aware of that.
Good evening, Joe Moore, 309 East Maple Street. Talking about the plan that's going to be presented tonight, the strategic plan. We went over it, and I know that it was, engineered, so I asked for maybe to see a lot of specific changes, or improvements. I would like to point out that the two most liked additions to the village currently under construction are the Lufkin project and the rec center. These would not have been possible if there had not been a part-time grant writer working to get those processed and put through. I can only imagine all the additional improvements that we could make if the village would consider putting a full-time grant writer on staff. I'm sure his salary would be paid with the first grant received, and or his or her. So the bottom line is that, you know, I read through it, and we've been identified as a village that, you know, doesn't have a lot of financial resources. A lot of projects are delayed. A lot of projects are being cut back. And so let's hopefully that when this plan is implemented, that that you guys actually consider that as an option. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Okay, anyone else?
No, I have no one
Okay,
signed up.
anyone else? Public comments on agenda items. Okay, item 5, public comments on non-agenda items. Anyone signed up?
No.
Okay, do we have anyone in the audience? Non-agenda items. Okay. Item 6 is proclamations. We have none. Item 7A is our 4th of July parade winner results. Mr. Harline, to you.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of this on the floor, but we have with us the winners of the different categories for the parade. By the way, I first want to start by saying that it was a really well done parade, and I think that the people with the VFW and all the people who helped out made it an excellent event. And Karen Roeder's not here, and Khalid Sabri's not here, but they are two people who should be specifically thanked. And then one more thing before we get all the awards handed out, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Midland Plumbing and Sewer, Tri-Town YMCA, Storino, Romello and Durkin, Trey 5 LLC, Gregory Boxing, LRS, Robert Rusty Stevens, Villa Park Ace Hardware, Windy City Curling, Doherty Landscaping, and then our premier sponsor, or the presenting sponsor, Safariland. Unfortunately, Safariland was not able to be here to help out with the handing out of the awards. But they have been a large contributor to the parade the last couple of years. So without further ado, I'm come around down there with J.B. Blankshane, who also was a tremendous part of the parade. If you'd come over and help me hand out these awards. All right. All right. All right. There were four awards. That we award that we had the contest for and asked our judges for the first three, and the last was done by a vote online. The judges picked most patriotic, best use of theme, best musical performance, and community choice. But let's start with the award for most patriotic, and the winner of that award is Midland Plumbing and Sewer. And Great. Did you want to say anything?
No, we're always happy to be part of the community here. We love the community, and thank everyone for everything you do in town here. So, thank you.
It was a very well liked float, and I think many people walked away from there with a warm feeling in their heart and a roll of toilet paper.
The toilet paper is always good. That's fine.
So,
thank
all
you very
right.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then the next one is best use of theme, and the winner of this award was the Villa Park Youth Baseball and Softball, and they are well represented tonight. Standing. Good job.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Rocco. Let's get you turned around here and get you a picture suitable for framing. There you go. Yeah. All right, best use of theme, Villa Park Youth Baseball and Softball.
There we go. By a lot of heads.
Did you want to say anything, Rocco?
Sure. Yeah. I want to say first off by thanking the village for making such a great agreement with the fields, and we've had our best seasons yet because of all the help that we've had. Mr. Greg Gola, Matt Harline, Kevin Patrick, you guys have done phenomenal, not to mention Nick Hozo from throwing that first pitch. That was great. Yeah, it's a great season. We're looking for a great season next year as well. We're going to keep improving about it. This is Jamie Soderson. This is our fundraising director, and he's also helped out with the fields. I think he can also contend that we've done a great job with the fields as well, too.
Yes, and being part of the community and part of the parade was our honor, and it was a great parade, and looking forward to next year already.
You had a pretty big part of the parade there at the end, too. There was, I don't know how many, we had like 10 spaces set aside for you guys.
Yeah. I also have to thank Calvin Hovington. He got the garbage trucks to load all the kids inside, so that was pretty cool. They were able to swing outside of it and throw candy, so that was a good part of it. He does it every year, so we'll be looking forward to that again next year.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Did you guys have a good time? That's probably the most important part.
We brought hats for you guys too as well. These are addition. If you look in the historical museum, I looked at an old hat to get this idea that we have the stars on the VP. So we'd like to maybe put that next to it. But we got hats for you guys as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And, oh, that's yours.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. The giving of gifts has nothing to do with the awarding. We didn't choose the awards. So, thank you so much, guys. That's fantastic. The next category was best musical performance, the Northwest Suburban Concert Band, and Charlie Dostal, is he present here? Thank you. Come on up.
We always love the Villa Park Parade. We're always happy that you guys have us in there. I remember when we started over at Jewel with the VFW right there, and I always wear my veteran's hat to this day.
Thank you.
Standing. Thank you so much. Let's get a good photo. For posterity. Thank you so much. And then, so there was, this is chosen by the community on Facebook mostly, wasn't it, that we did the award? So this is completely independent of our 3-judge panel. And also winning in community choice was Midland Plumbing and Sewer. So thank you. So the obviously well-liked parade.
Thank you very much.
Float.
Everyone like us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much.
Thank you.
Again, thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you to the VFW. Thank you for everyone and the staff that was involved and the community. And I thought we had a tremendous amount of tremendous turnout, and the weather was nice. It was good. Not too hot, not rainy till at the end. And I thought it was a fantastic event all around, and plenty of candy was thrown for all, so or handed out for all. Thank you so much.
Great, and congratulations on all the winners, and thanks for being out there this year. It was a great parade. Thanks to the VFW, too, for all your hard work, and staff also for hard work on the parade. Start planning for next year. Okay, move on to item 8A, is the appointment of Mahmoud Arif as Commissioner to the Video Production Commission for a term being sworn in until April 30th, 2027. And do we have a motion for the appointment? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kozar?
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Trustee
I'm
Kumar.
just happy that we're getting a full group of individuals on the video production committee. It's very nice to see that taking off,
Yes.
because I know it was slightly empty for a while. So I'm very, very happy. And I hope to see what video productions they put together.
Yep, there
Thank
you go. And I know Commissioner Wagner has already talked to Mr. Arif, so should be at the next meeting. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, Clerk Konecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Corkery?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
President Kazone?
Yes. Okay, item 9, our consent agenda. 9A is bill listings for the weeks of July 8th and 15th, 2024, in the amount of $2,459,988.01. And item B is the approval of the minutes of the July 8th, 2024 Committee of the Whole and the Village Board of Trustee meetings. We have a motion for the consent agenda. Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kumar? Okay, questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Konecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Corkery?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
President Kazone?
Yes. Okay, we have a ordinance of a first reading of an ordinance, the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the village code regarding junior membership on advisory commissions and committees of the village. Andrew Harline.
The proposed ordinance would amend Article 14 of Chapter 2 of the Village Code to allow junior membership on advisory and commissions and committees of the Village of Villa Park. The ordinance is drafted to allow junior commissioners or junior members of commissions on any commission not specifically named or created by state law. This is the first reading of the ordinance. If the board wishes to create junior members of commissions, staff recommends passage of the ordinance to accomplish that.
Okay. So this is discussion only as it's a first reading. Trustee Kumar.
Can I make a motion to waive the first reading on this?
Sure. Okay, we
Like
have
to
a
make a
motion to
motion.
waive the first reading. Trustee Patrick?
I'd like to second that.
Okay, any questions on that motion? Trustee Kumar?
I just think it's a very valuable experience for junior members to be on any of these boards. It's the start of kind of entry into our public service sector, and any experience to that accord is not only good for them in terms of learning, but also good for them in terms of improving their resume and future possibilities for better college opportunities. So I do absolutely ask that the parents out there in Villa Park consider your children for one of these commissions. The one member we have on the Fund Commission, she's an awesome girl. I would write her a recommendation any day of the week. She has been such a great addition to the Fund Commission that I can just see Villa Park blooming from these junior members. So I really am for this particular ordinance change.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, Clerk Kornecki, vote to waive the first reading?
Okay, trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Corkery,
Yes.
trustee Patrick.
Yes.
Trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Kumar.
Yes.
President Kazone.
Okay. So now that we've waived the first reading, do we have a motion for the ordinance itself? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Alfano?
I'll second.
Okay, questions or comments? Okay, Clerk Kornecki?
Trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Corkery.
Yes.
Trustee Patrick.
Yes.
President Kazone.
Yes. Move on to item 12A is an ordinance approving a variance for minimum side yard setback for the property located at 25 South Charles Avenue. Manager Harline.
This ordinance approves petition PZ 24-11 for variation to allow a second-story addition into the minimum 6-foot interior side yard setback by 1 foot for a 5-foot side yard setback located at 25 South Charles Avenue per Exhibit B in the packet. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval by a vote of 7-0, and this is Community and Economic Development Director Mark McLaughlin is here to answer any questions. This is another one of the setback issues where somebody wants to make an major home improvement but needs a variance to do so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, have a second? Trustee Alfano? Okay.
I'll second, yes.
Okay, yeah, this is another one of these where the houses, they're putting a second story on. The house itself is a legal non-conforming. They're in the 5-foot setback. They're going straight up. I know the director, McLaughlin, has talked about making these more of an administrative project instead of having to go through planning and zoning and spending money. So I think he's working on doing that. I don't know if you want to give a talk on that?
Yeah, again, this is falling in line with the similar variations that we've seen, existing non-conforming status, and they're only going up, not increasing the non-conformity. Staff is proposing amended language to the Planning and Zoning Commission at their September meeting, and that should come to you guys in front in about October for a vote to actually change the code so that these would be either allowed by right or through an administrative procedure.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any questions or comments? Trustee Kumar?
I find that to be a more efficient way, and I'm very happy that you're doing that.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, Clerk Kornecki?
Trustee Corkery,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Patrick.
Yes.
Trustee Alfano.
Yes.
President Kazone.
Yes. Okay, going to resolutions. Item 13A is a resolution approving and adopting the 2024 through 2028 strategic plan for the Village of Villa Park. Manager Harline.
Yes, the resolution formally adopts the village has conducted a process to develop a strategic plan and has the plan ready for adoption if the board is satisfied. The board asked for updated information about when baseline data would be available, and that has been included into the amended version in front of you, and some question about vision, mission, and value statements. The current updated document in the packet has new pictures and the new mission and vision language is suggested by trustee Kozar. The language with values is still the language developed with the consultant and staff after the original retreat, but the suggestion of trustee Kozar is included in the packet if you'd prefer to use that language. After the plan is approved, I would like to employ a company to help set up a dashboard to be displayed on our website specifically to monitor the progress of the strategic plan items. We have presentations set up from ClearPoint and Invisio with the goal of bringing back a proposal at the next meeting. If this is adopted, that would give a public-facing, as requested by the staff, or as requested by the board, public-facing window into progress on these items. They would be updated at least quarterly. Some items would lend themselves to being updated more often. And that's it. That's my report.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kumar? Okay, questions or comments? Trustee Kumar?
I am happy that a lot of these changes have been made. And I am even more happy that we will have a dashboard possibly for this, because the point of any of these strategic plans is implementation, even though it has taken a little bit to get the plan together. It's in the implementation that the worth of the plan sits, and I think the dashboard is going to be a great insight for the public into where the village is going, how far we've gotten, what we're doing. So I think that's going to be helpful.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Alfano?
Yes, I would have to agree. I think that I'm very pleased to hear that that's an addition here. I think that it's very easy to take a strategic plan, to create it, and then to bury it somewhere. Like, okay, that's the check mark, right? I think that by having that dashboard, it will keep it in the forefront of everybody's work, I think. And I think that that's the point. So thank you for that.
Good, thank you. Trustee Kozar?
Under values and integrity, I had made two suggestions, but I wanted to get the thoughts of the board if they like what is proposed here by the village versus the two suggestions on values and integrity. Under values, it currently reads, "We are welcoming in Villa Park and feel valued for their individual and all feel valued for their individual perspectives and unique backgrounds." I had recommended welcome home, exclamation mark. All are accepted, safe in their identities, and valued for one's unique and individual perspective. And then lastly, under integrity, it reads, "We have the consistent courage to do what is ethical." My suggestion here was that under integrity, we say, "We demand honesty, transparency, and ethical behavior for all staff and elected officials." Does anybody on the board have any thoughts on those two suggestions to change in our strategic plan, or does the board like it as written?
Okay. Trustee Patrick?
I don't see anything wrong with making those changes. I think to add a little bit more to it, I would propose that we go with Trustee Kozar's changes to that.
Okay. Trustee Kumar?
I was under the impression that integrity was worked on by staff considerably, and there were some language in that was preferred by staff for various reasons. Is that true, Manager Harlan?
Manager?
So after the meeting, the all-day meeting at, or the retreat on February 24th, there were some items that were left unfinished. The village staff, through the both with department heads and also through the Leadership Book Club, had been working on values for about a year. We discussed and changed those and made some edits to them as a group during that meeting, and then the process was to send those back with the staff to complete. There are actually there's a sentence under values, and then there are 4 separate values: service, integrity, stewardship, and adaptability, which we all agreed to. And that is agreed to by, it seems like, everybody. It's the describing language after that. And I don't want to get into, whatever language you like better is whatever language you like better, but the text that is currently in the draft document is the text that was developed with the department heads and some division heads, with the consultant, Corey Plash, in a couple of sessions after we left the event on the 24th. There were suggestions on service, stewardship, and adaptability as well. You know, it's up to but we will work with the plan either way. Because of that effort, work together with the staff. My preference would be for what's in the packet right now, but we'll work with it either way. They're pretty close.
Trustee Kumar.
I have a question. Did you ever return this to staff and see if they want to keep it in a certain way, or that's what I wanted to know? Did you discuss it?
I did not. We had a discussion at staff, brief discussion at staff meeting afterwards, and I didn't take a poll, but I think there was a preference for
Keeping the language as is?
Yeah, honoring that effort, but again, we'll work with whichever language is adopted.
Okay. Trustee Patrick.
Just looking at what I have here in front of me, if we've all agreed that the 4 values that we're talking about, service, integrity, stewardship, and adaptability, the subsection underneath it shouldn't matter that much. And especially, if what Trustee Kozar is proposing isn't that far off from this. At the beginning of this process, too, we were also told that trustees should take ownership of this, and this should be a part of that as well. I don't see anything wrong with adding a few more words to each line, to along the lines of what Trustee Kozar was saying. This shouldn't be a big deal here. This is just our missions, our vision, mission, values. It's maybe 100 words on one page. So I think it's okay if we spice it up a little bit here. No offense to staff, but I can't imagine how exciting this work is here, debating about whether or not it's a couple hundred words different or something along the lines of that. But if we can all still agree on the fact of service, integrity, stewardship, and adaptability, this shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Trustee Alfano.
Could I ask Trustee Kozar to read again what he would like to put under integrity one more time?
Integrity would read, we demand honesty, transparency, and the ethical behavior of all staff and elected officials.
It's on page 102 of the.
Okay, thanks. I actually would like to see consistent courage in there as well. I think that if I recall the conversation that we had, and I do remember consistent courage was part of that piece by staff, and understanding where they were coming from, and then kind of having some time to kind of sit and think about that and let that simmer. I think that consistent courage from a staffing point of view makes complete sense, but I also think that consistent courage from an elected official point of view makes equally just as much sense. And I would like to see that in there.
Trustee Kumar.
Yeah, I would corroborate with that. I think that was an important tag phrase that we want to keep from staff. I think it has a lot of meaning, and I would agree with Trustee Alfano that we should keep that essence in that statement. I think the first part, the Welcome Willow Park, that's kind of pretty similar to what's out there. I don't think there's an issue with that at all. I'm okay with, taking it word for word from what Trustee Kozar said, but the integrity discussion, I think it is important to have consistent courage in there.
Okay. Trustee Patrick?
I'm just going to request that Trustee Kozar, if you could reread what you had for values as well, or I believe that was your first one.
Sure.
Thanks.
So under values, I had welcome home, exclamation mark. All are accepted, safe in their identities, and valued for one's unique and individual perspective.
I personally like the way that sounds better than the first one, so I would definitely agree with that change as well.
Okay. Trustee Kozar?
And then under integrity, perhaps, we demand honesty, transparency, and the constant courage to do what is ethical of all our staff and elected officials. Maybe without the question mark.
Consistent courage.
Say again?
It's consistent courage, not constant courage.
Consistent courage, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I would make a motion, one motion to say under values, we change it to welcome home, all are accepted, safe in their identities, and valued for one's unique and individual perspective. And under integrity, we change it to say, we demand honesty, transparency, and the consistent courage to do what is ethical of all staff and elected officials.
Okay. You got that down? Okay, so we have a motion to change those two, the values and integrity. Trustee Patrick?
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, Clerk Kornecki?
Okay, trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Corkery,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
President Kazal.
Yes. Okay, so we have that change made, so now can we have a motion
Just a vote. It's been amended.
as amended, yeah. A motion to accept, or to approve the strategic plan as amended? Trustee, oh, go
So
ahead.
you don't need a motion. There's the main motion on the
Okay.
table. It's been amended. So
Okay,
now
okay.
There's
Okay.
further discussion.
Any other questions or comments on the strategic plan? Trustee Alfano?
Yes, I just want to thank staff for changing the images that are on there. I think that kind of gives us a better image out there for Villa Park, and what it is that not only we're trying to market, but it shows a little bit more of who we are besides just kind of the party town. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
If I could, I'd just like to thank this board, the staff, and the over 900 people who fill out surveys, the people who participated in the focus groups. Thank you. The focus groups and all the effort that's gone forward. I think that this is and one of the reasons why I think it's important to spend, and it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $10,000-$12,000, depending on who we pick, and that will come back to the board next meeting. But to make sure that this is an active and live document, I think that if you look through our last strategic plan, you guys did a good job of knocking many of the things off that list. But I don't know that it was really embraced or this board felt an affinity to that. I think that this process will make this more of a community document, and that it does belong to the board, does belong to the community, and the staff will help try and make it come true with everybody else's help, because there's some stuff in here for the community to participate in terms of more volunteerism. There's a lot of different pieces that it's going to take to make this and by taking this intentional step as a in a cooperative way, I think it's a really good exercise in governance, and I'm very I don't know if it's appropriate or my place to say proud, but I'm very happy with how this process has gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody, it's something that brought the whole community together, working on this, and I think everyone is pretty pleased with the outcome of it. So, thank you all. Okay, Any other questions or comments? Okay, Clerk Kornicki.
Okay, trustee Corkery,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
President Casone.
Yes. Okay, item 13B is a resolution authorizing and approving the rules of order and procedures for the Village Board of Trustees. Manager Hartline.
This resolution formally adopts the proposed rules of order and procedure of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Little Park. The rules allow for amendments and provide for the ratification of those amendments every 2 years after election and installation of a new board. Staff recommends approval of the resolution. I will note that additional edits were made before the last meeting, and the most recent version included in the packet includes a section to clarify how notice may be given for special meetings, paragraph Roman numeral 1F, as requested. Further explanation of extending time limits as has been included under section 2A2A, and which has resulted, among other things, in the new clock. A section Roman numeral 2, capital A, small 2, small b, has been added to correspond to the code. Section 2C added specifically how to challenge decisions of the chair. Section 2D3 has been relaxed to allow commissions to have more flexibility. I did not make there was a request to get the audio recordings up on the quicker than 2 weeks. Certainly that is our lowest, that is the base standard, our goal, and I think our current practice is to get them up. It's within a week, less than a week right now, and that is, this is just in case there's a vacation or a holiday weekend that we can still meet the standard. But certainly our goal is to get them much sooner. Goal is 24 hours for video and 1 week or less for audio. I know that the commission meetings probably aren't making it that fast, but the Board of Trustees is frequently up the next day, if not that evening. And then a very basic outline of agenda for commissions is included. It's very basic because a lot of, it just has the most important elements so that they can have the ability to be empowered to run their agendas. And, for instance, most boards don't need a consent agenda. In fact, they shouldn't have a consent agenda. Some things were put in accidentally as we were putting in the templates and had some issues with our contractor. But so that's in there as requested. So there was a comment about recommending a section Roman numeral 2, capital B3. So that 2-hour limit on how much time it takes to the staff to do something only specify what has to be brought to the board for a motion. So the manager may direct staff to complete the request for information even if it exceeds 2 hours. If the manager would choose to not do that, then the board member would still be able to ask for action or new business. So it doesn't prevent anything from happening. It's basically, in the example of somebody wanted to do something that was very time consuming and was only in interest of one board member, the staff would bring it to the board before we put in that time. So those are the changes that have been made in probably more detail than you wanted. And that's my report.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Patrick.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, there's a second. Trustee Kumar. Okay, questions, comments? Trustee Kumar.
I think this is a live and working document, and I'm very happy it's coming into play. I know that staff has worked very hard on it, and I thank them for all their time and effort in making it happen.
Trustee Kozar.
So I'm glad we're putting this together. I have been as we were going through the process. When I brought this up originally, my intention was to create something akin to rules and order that doesn't necessarily have a starting or an end period, something that's kind of informal. It's an agreement that everyone here on the board makes, just as, on their honor, basically. What I'm reading here appears that it would start as of today and it would end as of May 12th, 2025, or have to be reaffirmed. I think this rule, these rules of order and procedure should be agreed to as a board today, but should then just go on indefinitely. And if there are aspects of this that we decide don't work or can be approved upon, by simple consensus, it can be brought up at the board and a discussion might be able to be had. And if it sounds plausible, then we simply just change our order and procedure on a moving forward basis. It doesn't have to be formalized or reaffirmed every couple of years. It needs to be, like Deepa or Trustee Kumar said, a live and working document that we're willing to change as it goes. But we can read this document and say, okay, this is how we've done it in the past. This is what's worked. But if it doesn't work, we can change it, or we can add or take away as we go. So basically what I'm saying is I don't think that we should have an ending date on this. We could bring it up every 2 years and have a discussion on it and make sure, like a review and make sure everything works. But I think there should be our rules of order and procedure from this day henceforth. Does anybody have comments on that?
Yeah, I think Manager Harline wanted to address that.
Well, one of the reasons to have that end is that that doesn't obligate future boards that aren't in existence yet, people who haven't been elected yet. I think the idea is that it would be redone at every board, and that the from board to board it would be continued. We could take that out. But I think the idea that each board would have to take an action to say, I understand these are our agreed upon rules, and that they would actually have to sit at the desk and say, the dais, and say, yes, I see these. That's kind of the different communities do them different ways. Larger communities often have these coded in there, and the order of business is in the code, and this is to overlay and extend or work with Robert's Rules of Order, which are adopted in the code. So that's kind of my thinking, in that these are agreed to, but if somebody doesn't want to follow these rules, and these are the rules that you guys have set down, they can be ruled out of order and that sort of thing. So if somebody doesn't misbehaves in the discussion, there always has to be some way to address that behavior. So there are special things that you guys, and there's some things that you guys wanted in here, like the stuff about that we will be videotaping and or audio taping our meetings. There's some things that are unique to Villa Park that are in here as well. So yes, they should be, that's been written in such a way that you make an amendment, it goes into action at the start of the next meeting, or you can always suspend the rules. There's a standard allowance for that. But that's, so, I mean, I'm not really disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that having that, having it renewed with each board makes them say, yes, I agree, these are our rules. That was the thinking there.
So your comment about obligating future boards, I do want to obligate future boards. I want future boards to walk into this room after being elected and see, and be given a copy of these rules in order, and say, okay, this is how we conduct ourselves. Certainly read them, understand them, let's talk about them. And if you don't think that because of the conduct of past boards, we want to continue this into the future, that's great. Let's change it. It's a again, as Trustee Kumar said, it's a living and working document. So I would make a motion that we remove ending on May 12th, and it starts as of today, and it ends when the board, through a consensus, changes items.
Okay, so we got a motion on there to take out the end.
I'm going to hold on that motion. I think there's a couple other questions, so I withdraw that motion right now.
Okay. I kind of agree with Manager Harline on that, though, that the next board should take that up, but I mean, that's my opinion. Trustee Alfano.
Thank you. So in every meeting that I have sat in as an educator, whether it's an IEP meeting or it's a more formal meeting, we always have meeting norms. And I have seen this come together kind of as meeting norms, not just as an ordinance, not just as code, but as how we expect boards, ourselves, future boards, to conduct business and how we want people to interact with each other. And then I understand wanting to have future boards agree to that because we want people to sign on to that. We want people to say, yes, I'm on board, or no, I can't agree to do that. We want people to have that input. But I do agree that I don't know that we need an end date. I think we just need a renewal. Would there be a difference legally if there's an end date and a renewal date? That's my question.
I don't know if I want to enter a legal question, but we certainly can make it just a habit to renew it and not put a specific end date in there.
Do you want to say anything?
Did you want to?
Yeah, so if there's a requirement that the rules need to be ratified by every board, those rules wouldn't be applicable unless those rules were ratified by that subsequent board. So it does impact the continuation of the rules. With respect to various rules that are recited that are also in the village code, those code provisions stand because they're in the village code. But with respect to the actual rules, if they're not ratified, there could be the position taken that they're not applicable.
Trustee Kumar.
These rules, the purpose I was foreseeing in putting together these rules is for the next board. Because when I came in, I needed a set of rules to look at. So I do not want to make it is not actually for this board because we put it together so we know what's in there. It's for the next board to have an educational document that says, this is how we conduct our practices. It's not forcing the next board to be this way. They can change it at any given time. It's simply a document with which to proceed where you know how to act in, and I could have used this document when I entered the board, as could of any, I'm sure, of the board members who are up here. Sometimes it's a learning process, and this is like, to me, it's a document to learn. We actually, when we entered the board, got a book that had 10 rules in it, 9 of which I wasn't sure what they meant. So, because they were very vague. So that's what I got when I walked into the board. So I really like this vetted out, very carefully written rule book per se. And I do agree that possibly people are going to have to sign on to it who enter the board, but having it out there is very important for people who join the board.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Trustee Patrick.
Oh, one of the other things too is that there's nothing that says that any board member up here has to follow this, even if they don't agree with this. There's nothing that would say that a new board member would have to agree by this anyways. But to the point of, we were all once new board members at one time, and when I came on about 6 years ago, I didn't have anything like this. You had to just kind of have a learning curve. I think a document like this, to what you're saying, will assist those new board members in understanding their roles and understanding what's expected. Now, it's on them to whether or not they want to adhere to those, but at least those rules or those have been set. And there's a general understanding of what a board member what's expected of a board member. So I would also be in favor of removing the end date of May 12th and keeping this to like what Trustee Kumar said was a living and working document. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Trustee Kozar.
I think probably under rules of order and procedure, if this would be the appropriate place for it, and I'll ask the board, but I want to go over a couple guidelines as it pertains to this upcoming campaign season. So I've learned that petitioning begins in a month from now. Usually it's between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but my understanding is it's now going to be August 20th, which is 4 weeks away. So we're into another election season. I would like to add, and I think it would be appropriate here, otherwise maybe it just needs to be separate and apart, but in either event, it needs to be said. With regard to our staff and our village manager, I would like to see the manager from the top down going through staff not to be involved in our politics or be involved in our elections. So what does that mean? For example, I don't think it's appropriate for our village manager to sign election petitions. I'm not saying that because our current village manager or any future village manager who is a resident of Villa Park should not vote. Absolutely, I think they have the 100% constitutional absolute right to vote. But I'm saying not getting involved in politics or elections beforehand. Before I ran for trustee, short of 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, my wife and I had a conversation with Kathy Orr, who was the previous attorney. And Kathy Orr told me how she was encouraging then trustee Nick Cazone to run for president. And my thought was, this is wholly inappropriate that our village attorney would be encouraging one of the trustees to run as president or anything. It's just not the place of our staff to be involved in our local Villa Park politics. So again, whether it's appropriate to have it in our rules of order and procedure, or this is just something that needs to be discussed and again, an understanding. I don't think that our village staff should get involved or be encouraging members of the community to run for elected office. I also don't think that our village manager should be giving legal advice to the trustees. If there is legal advice to be had, that should flow to our village attorney, who can give good legal advice as an attorney, or guidance, not even advice, perhaps guidance. And the last aspect of that would be that the village manager, it's not the village manager's place to lecture the village trustees. Again, if there's some sort of legal insight that needs to be shared, that should be going from the village manager to the village attorney, who can then write up a legal memo to express whatever it is that the village manager deems appropriate or necessary to educate or inform the trustees on. So I can make a motion on this and we can add it to rules and order, or obviously vote on it and it could go through that, or if there is another route that might be more appropriate.
Yeah, go ahead.
From a legal perspective, first, that is outside of the confines of these rules, which govern the board and their activities at board meetings. But more importantly than that, there are some statutory restrictions on some of the things that you're discussing. So there are First Amendment rights that allow for political activity of the employees of the village, but there are also rules related to political activity while working at the village, and those are statutory laws, and we're in, those are laws and rules we can't override. So, I would recommend you can't do that. It would be violative of certain laws, whether they're federal or state laws, so.
So I think my point is less that we need to create some sort of legislation that would prevent our manager or staff to do these things. But again, more of an understanding that this is what, as a board, we would like to see from our manager or our staff, that they don't get involved. And if they, if those ideas violate the state code, well, then I guess it goes into simple employment law. And if it's not the manager or staff that, you know, is acting in such a way that the villages or the trustees aren't comfortable with or don't like, because we feel that they're getting involved, such as the comments from Kathy Orr previously, then I guess the board has that ability to change the person in that position. And perhaps that's the route to go. But without expressing those concerns, nobody knows that they are concerns. So part of what I'm trying to do is express those concerns so that they're out there. And if we need to have more discussion on it, we can.
From the employment law perspective, you have to be very careful because, we are a unit of government and the employees, have certain rights that, beyond what non-governmental employees would have. So they have constitutional rights that need to be protected. So to create a rule that would be in contravention of a constitutional right for an employee, would not be allowed. But with respect to consultants, like the example that you're giving with the village attorney, I mean, you would not create a rule related to that, but you may make decisions, that may, implicate.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, people have the right to do what they want. And, well, yeah, but in a case like this, they have federal guidelines. And I know you like to make sure that people's rights aren't being violated here. And I don't think we need that because like you said, if a staff member is doing something that the board doesn't like, it can go through the village manager. If the village manager is doing something, the village board can do something about that. So I don't think we need to get into that, especially if there's a potential for being violators of someone's First Amendment rights.
Then maybe what we can do is we can visit this as election season comes up in the next 4 weeks and have a clear understanding what is allowed and what isn't allowed. I mean, if we want to talk constitution or legislation, let's get the facts and let's get the law and let's revisit this conversation. So I won't make a motion on what I just said about the political influence, but I think we should bring it up perhaps at the next meeting or the subsequent meeting after that, which is about the time that petitioning starts.
Okay. Trustee Patrick.
Thank you. I understand what Trustee Kozar is saying, and I definitely think this topic should be talked about a little bit more or less maybe under ethical standards of employees. Because I think we've all had enough time on this board where we might have experienced in one way, shape, or form some of the things that Trustee Kozar has been talking about. And I think this really falls under ethical standards of employees as well. So I would not be opposed to talking about this at a future date and talking about employee conduct and ethics in that aspect.
Yeah, these are all issues that are dictated by the laws, and we can definitely provide you information regarding what those standards that have already been delegated by either state or federal law as it relates to employees and as well as officers of the municipality. But it's a legal question as opposed to
And I understand that completely.
rules
But I think
or
more or less
guidelines.
we're talking about a code of ethics that is pretty standard anywhere. We can talk about code of ethics at any time about any employee that we need to. So if we're going to be talking about ethics generally, I don't see why that would be a topic that we couldn't pursue in a further discussion.
You could absolutely have a discussion on it. I'm just telling you that those ethical standards are dictated by state law. And so I would be happy to provide you all of that information. You guys can have the discussion.
Okay, we'll look at that. Trustee Kumar.
Yeah, I would like to know what are those ethical standards and that law, just for the perspective of information. If anybody is running for office, they should know what are the standards.
Okay. Trustee Kozar.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to strike paragraph 5B and to remove,
Which document you're talking about? In
we're
the,
under rules and order.
in
of
the
procedure.
attachment, okay.
Right, so under 13B, rules of order and procedure, I motion to strike 5 or VB right at the end of that document. And then I'm also motioning that after the caption at the top, it says the following rules of order and procedures were adopted by the Board of Trustees of Villa Park, Illinois by resolution blank for the, and then from that point on, say, as of the date of presumably July 22nd, 2024. Period.
Yeah, okay,
In other words, I'm removing ending on May 12th, 2025.
okay. All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second? Trustee Kumar? Any questions or comments? Trustee Patrick?
Trustee Kozar, could you say that one more time so I can follow
Sure.
along?
Okay,
Five.
so at the
5B.
beginning, I'm removing 5B right at the very end. I believe
Oh,
that's
okay,
page
yep.
114,
Got it, thank you.
if my pages are correct. And then I'm also removing, after the resolution number, everything from the blank for the resolution number, and then I'm adding in as of the date of July 22nd, 2024.
Okay, thank you.
So it starts today, it goes on until the board decides to take action to change it.
And I think that brings up another good point, though, as well, is that a document like this at any time can be changed by a majority vote by the board. So when we are talking about new board members coming on here, if there was a real big issue with this, it's as simple as taking a vote to change that at that time. I think that's another valid point of why this should kind of eliminate that date. So.
Just to make sure, so the beginning under the title, after the title would be the following rules of order and procedures were adopted by the Board of Trustees of Villa Park, Illinois by resolution number for the period starting July 22nd, 2024.
Correct, and then.
And then stop.
That's fine, yeah.
Is that-
I mean, it's, right, we're just specifying that it starts today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that would be sufficient.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Trustee Alfano?
Do we need to have for the period starting if we don't have an end date? Do we just
Right, yeah,
put
because you have to have a
starting?
start date for it.
What,
So
and
it'd
so
be-
the, for the period starting, so just, I
sorry.
understand.
Be starting on this
Okay.
date,
Yeah.
not for the
Okay.
period
Yeah.
starting?
Start
That would be-
beginning, effective, yeah, effective July
Or effective?
22nd.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I think that's better, effective. Resolution number effective July 22nd, 2024.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Clerk Kornecki?
Trustee Corkery,
Yes.
Trustee Alfano,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Kumar,
Yes.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
President Kazo.
No. Okay, so, are we needing a motion now for the amended?
Any
Okay.
discussion on the main motion?
Okay. Okay, so any other questions or comments on the proposed rules? Okay, Clerk Kornecki, vote on the amended rules of order.
Okay, Trustee Alfano,
Yes.
Trustee Corkery,
Yes.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Kumar,
Yes.
President Kazo.
Yes. Okay, so the proposed rules of order and procedures, the Board of Trustees are approved as amended. Okay, item 13C is a resolution authorizing the engagement of Lauterbach and Amen LLP for professional services related to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources Grant Number LI 22-005, Lions Park Recreation Center Grant. Manager Harline.
The resolution authorizes the village manager to sign a letter of engagement with Lauterbach and Amen LLP for professional services that are required by the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, IDNR, for grant number LI 22-005, the grant that supported the construction of the Villa Park Recreation Center. Staff recommends passage of the resolution.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion for the resolution. Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Alfano? Okay, questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Corkery?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
President Kazone?
Yes. Okay, item 14 is unfinished business. Anyone have any unfinished business? Item 15, new business. I don't believe we have any new business. Item 16, acceptance of the minutes of the May 28th, 2024 Community Fund Commission meeting. Acceptance of minutes of the May 23rd, 2024 Environmental Concerns Commissions, the Bike, Pedestrian, and Transit Subcommittee meeting, and acceptance of the minutes of the May 23rd Environmental Concerns Commission meeting itself. And those are all in everyone's packet. Item 17, Village Clerk's Report.
Yes, I do want to mention about our upcoming consolidated election on April 1st, 2025, that candidates who would like to run for village board, village board, 3 members will be terms expiring. The village clerk terms expires, and village president, as well as a library trustees. I believe there are 3 trustees. So just so you understand, normally it's been in September, it's now August 20th, and the dates for filing, you need to be aware of for the public, that it begins on Tuesday, November 12th, and ends on Monday, November 18th. So it's quite a bit earlier, a month earlier. So more information, more details, do go to log on to the DuPage County Election Commission. As in the past, we will have candidate packets in the village office for the board, people running for positions on the board, and those running for the library. And otherwise, do go online with the commission, because they have a lot of answers for you. They also have information. You can download packets you can download. So, and that's my information. President
Okay,
Kazone.
thank you. Okay, Village Trustees Report, start on right. Trustee Patrick.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being here, everybody. As you already know, I'm really big into recognition. And first of all, I want to, I know she's not here, I know she just popped out, but our new communications specialist, Riley, I just want to let everybody know how much I appreciate the work that she is doing. I know that a few of us on the board have been really adamant about having a stronger presence online and being more visible there. And I think she's really rocking it. She's doing a great job. I see her out and about everywhere. She's really working hard, and I think the results are showing as well. So I just would really like it if you could relay that to her. She's doing an outstanding job. And I know that I always talk about our police and fire department, and I've got a story that I would like to tell, because I think it really adds to the character of not just our officers and the department, but also our police chief as well. I think it was Monday night when we had the tornadoes, right before all the bad weather came. I was outside kind of preparing for this weather to come through, kind of knew it was coming. And I saw a police officer further down the block getting out of his car and doing something on the curb, using his foot and kicking stuff away. And so when I caught up with him and I saw him, it was Officer Bekteshi. He was actually clearing the drains from the street. And I said, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "This is not your job." He's like, "Well, you know what? I grew up here, I'm from here, I'm a cop here, and I care about these residents. And I know that there's a storm coming through, and I want to make sure that these drains don't get clogged up, so that way these residents here don't experience flooding problems like I know that there is." And when he told me that, and I saw that, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Because first of all, it shows that not only is Officer Bekteshi going above and beyond his scope of duty, but it's showing that he really cares about this community. And that says a lot about him, but also a lot about the department. And I believe that comes straight from the top as well. So I really want to show my gratitude for examples exactly like this to our police chief, thank you for having this atmosphere. Thank you for being such a good leader in the department and having this trickle down all the way to the officers. Because when you see this out there, you really see that these officers really truly care about the people of Villa Park. They're not just coming to Villa Park to do a job 9 to 5 and get out. They're coming here because they care. And these simple acts, it goes a long way. So I really appreciate that, and please relay that message to him for me, if you will, Chief. Speaking of the fire department now, I'm super excited. I missed the last board meeting, but I am very excited that the board allowed and passed the position of the new fire deputy chief. I think that's amazing. And when I got word that Frank Reposh was going to be filling that position, what a great guy for the job. Frank is dedicated. He has been here for quite some time now. He's a great educator. He will teach that department, and he also carries those values of wanting to give back to the community. So when I heard that, that's awesome. And we could look forward to that next month. Frank will be right here getting that promotion in front of all of us. So kudos to Frank and the fire department for that as well. Talking about more recognition as well. My wife and I were able to make it out to the last Kiwanis concert at the gazebo on the Prairie Path. And I'm telling you that this concert was packed. I haven't seen these packed in quite some time. And Kiwanis did such a great job of organizing it and having the event run by volunteers. It was a great job, and not just any volunteers, but we also had staff out there as well. We had the fire department on the grill, saw the chiefs out there grilling out there. I think our director of Parks and Recreation probably passed out at least 100 snow cones or more.
That's dirty work, by the way.
Tons
That's
of
tough.
them.
That's tough.
I know I know we had staff out there as well. I know our village clerk was there as well. Our previous police chief was there as well. So I want to thank the Kiwanis Club for such a great job in hosting these concerts. July 24th, this Wednesday, full volume classic rock will be out there at the same time. I believe it's 6:30. But it is a great opportunity for you to get out, listen to some good music, and see what the Kiwanis Club has in store for us. And lastly, I want to talk about Tuesday, August 6th, next month, is National Night Out with our police department. Last year, this was a great event, and I think I was surprised with the turnout with this one as well. They did an outstanding job, and I know that they've been planning this, and I think it was Officer Ruby, new Sergeant Ruby, is heading up the planning of this year's National Night Out. So, Chief, is it going to be in the same location outside by the Villa Park Historical Museum?
It's going to be
at Cortese. Okay. Okay, so there you have it. We have a permit pulled, Cortese Park, Tuesday, August 6th for National Night Out. I really am asking Villa Park to, let's try to get out there and support our first responders with this. It's a great event. Let's pack the house if you can. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kozar.
Last week, I was able to spend some time with the Greater Chicago Bird Sanctuary, which is right over at Ardmore and Central here in Villa Park. And it's really a kind of a hidden treasure of Villa Park. They do such good work. They take abused and neglected birds and just birds that people put up for adoption from all over the Chicagoland area. They're few and far between places like this, and it's 100% run by volunteers. They spend tons of time with these animals, and there's just no place like it. So we're lucky to have them in Villa Park, but these rescued birds are lucky to have them too. So, you know, if you ever want to, you know, maybe stop in and see what they're doing, give them a call, set up an appointment. But if you can ever make a donation to them, you know, any contribution, like I said, it's 100% volunteer, and they do such good work. So really proud to have them in Villa Park, and hope everybody can continue to support them.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Alfano.
Thank you. I wanted to congratulate the winners of the 4th of July Parade Awards, Midland Plumbing and Sewer, and the youth baseball and softball, and the Northwest Suburban Concert Band, and also to the VFW for always providing that that parade for us. And I know when you see that it looks seamless, there is so much planning that goes on in the background. So thank you so much for providing that for our residents in our community. It is really something that makes our town very special. I want to send a shout out to our Public Works. After the tornado came through, and we didn't really know that it was even a tornado to begin with, they have been out there, and I know that some residents feel like they haven't been working fast enough, but I have seen them around town almost nonstop, working and trying to do what they can to get all of the debris picked up. I know Kenilworth was hit pretty hard. They were out there for a couple of days, and Cornell was hit pretty hard. They were there for like a whole day. I know I've seen them. Those kind of our roots. That we do pretty much daily, but they have been out there and they have been working really hard. So please let them know that we are really proud of the work that they do, and it is not going unnoticed. Congratulations to our Villa Park Mariners swim team. They took first place in A conference and second place in B conference. And thank you to not only the coaches, but to also the parent board and the parent volunteers, to obviously the swimmers, and to Parks and Rec for supporting their season. I also wanted to remind people about the National Night Out. This is something my family has always looked forward to since the very first time that we went there, when my son was like 2, and just loved being able to sit in the police cars and get to know everybody. So it's something that we look forward to. We're really looking forward to that event, and can't wait to visit with our community and our neighbors and our officers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Kumar.
I don't have much today, but I do want to shout out to Public Works, because I have been running around all over town. I see a lot of debris. I've been through other towns. My sister's house in Downers Grove, that tree fell down. It took them forever. But Villa Park has been on it. You've been trying everything to get our residents back to normal. Thank you so much for that. I can say that. I see the trucks everywhere. Even with our staffing, we're all over the place working really hard to get things back to normal. So I'm very proud of that. I also want to shout out to all the people who won for July 4th. I wish I could have been there, because I love that event, and I missed it, but I did vote. So I'm very happy that whoever won, including Midland Plumbing, the Villa Park Youth Baseball, which I'm going to wear that hat everywhere if I get a chance, and the Northwest Suburban Concert Band. Thank you so much. I see some good members in that band and associated with that band for years. So thank you so much for all you do.
Okay, Trustee Corkery.
I don't have much. Just want to say that we've got summer play coming up. St. Genesius will be doing Into the Woods at Willowbrook High School Auditorium, July 26th, 27th, and August 2nd through 3rd. So that's this coming Friday, Saturday, and then the Friday and Saturday after that. I'll be going on Saturday, and who wants to go see some Sondheim, that's the place to be. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, move on to Village President's Report. I too like to thank staff. I know came out that an EF0 tornado did hit Villa Park, so there was quite a bit of damage. I believe 38 homes had some structural damage from trees, but staff did a great job getting the streets cleared up, and I'm sure the rest of the debris will be out in a week or so. As Trustee Patrick had said, Riley did a great job getting the information out on our website about what was going on. So, thanks to them, thanks to the staff. Our My Villa Park app is up and running, which you can load onto your iPhones or Androids, and you can go on there and actually log in, service requests. I guess we had like 13 requests the first week that it was up. Monday, August 5th at 6 o'clock at the Villa Park Library, there will be a training session for the app, how to use the app if you're interested in it, and there is information on our website about that. Unfortunately, we did have a homicide last week in Villa Park that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. Another case of domestic abuse. Our Villa Park Police Department, from the reports I read from the county and from Merritt, our Villa Park's Police Department did a great job. It's a very trying scene to see something like that, and I think all of our officers did a great job. And again, brings up the idea, the things about domestic abuse. If you are in an abusive relationship, you're having trouble, always call 911. There are resources out there. If you go to the DuPage County website, Family Shelter is one of them, 630-469-5650. The YWCA has a 24-hour hotline, 888-293-2080. There's a lot more resources out there too, so it's, please do not stay in there if you feel you're in a dangerous situation. As was brought up, the Kiwanis this Wednesday, full volume classic rock. That is actually the band. Paul Esposito, the Oak Terrace president, is a guitar player in that band. So if you want to see the local talent, come out on Wednesday. Saturday, August 10th, at the Funky Java Coffee House on Villa, Senator Susie Glowiak Hilton, who's our state senator, and Representative Diane Blair Sherlock, who's our state rep, will be there for a meet and greet from 9:30 to 10:30. Both of these ladies do a great job getting out and meeting the public, and if you have any questions or comments, they're more than willing to sit down and talk with you. So August 10th, 9:30 at Funky Java. Coffee with the Board will be Saturday, August 3rd at 9 o'clock up here in the boardroom. And I was able to do a golf outing on Wednesday with DuPage managers and mayors, and had some conversations with a builder from Villa Park who recently has been doing a lot of construction in Villa Park. He's built a couple of homes. They're doing a lot of remodeling. And I think a lot of this is credit to our staff, community development, economic development, trying to make our permitting process a little easier. And I think we're starting to get some builders in here, and they're starting to see that. And you're seeing it in a lot of work getting done in Villa Park. We don't want to be Elmhurst. We don't want $1 million houses, but we do like to see our houses being remodeled and new ones getting built. So it's really a good curve that we're on right now. And I think staff's doing a great job in helping that out. And with that, we'll go to the village manager's report.
Well, you took most of the things I was going to say, but it's all right. That's all right. No, not that many. I did want to reiterate that the My Villa Park app is out and available. We've had 16 requests so far now. And I did want to mention that we had, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 reports of downed tree limbs through the last, there's a lot. The Public Works Department, and I might have Mike just, we're going through town, so even just in a methodical run at this point, and I'll just let Director Guerra give a better explanation of how we're
Yes,
proceeding.
and thank you for the kind words. I'll pass it along to my staff. They did a phenomenal job working through the first night to make sure the roads were open and driveways were open, and then ever since. The last week, up until about today, and probably into the next few days, we've been focusing on the area where the tornado path was, which is pretty much from Wisconsin to Euclid, kind of between the two paths. So they've hit everywhere almost through there twice now. I know we got an email today, like some people are on vacation, they came home to find limbs and stuff, so they're still pulling out, but we'll start branching out to the remainder of the community, knowing that it just wasn't isolated there, that there was other locations, and then we'll go back through again through the work orders to make sure that we didn't miss any locations. Similarly, there's some trees that have heavy damage. As long as they're stable, we're leaving them for now, and we'll come back and remove those trees in the upcoming weeks. We're just kind of focusing still on cleanup. So if you don't see us with the trees down yet, it doesn't mean that we're not going to take them down. We're just trying to focus on cleanup right now, and then we'll come back and remove any trees that were damaged beyond a recovery of that tree.
So your staff is branching out, is that what you said?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. The surplus property auction has been complete, or at least the first week, and we are going to bring in about $28,000, assuming everyone pays what they have offered. And we will get you very soon a date on the Lufkin ribbon cutting. We have a date, we're just making sure that the power, we have a date with ComEd to get the power turned on, and if that goes well, we'll be announcing it soon. So, and that's this week. The training on Monday, August 5th at 6 p.m. in the group collaboration room, as President Cazone mentioned, on My Villa Park app. And then I also, we have begun the process of asking for budget items for capital improvements, and looking at an October 21st date for the budget presentation. So that's an extra Monday if you guys are amenable. And during this process, a lot of people get involved, and the public works staff put together a really nice way to enter capital items, which might make this work a lot better. And we're going to be formalizing requests for staff, new staff, which Suzanne McVeigh helped come up with a better format for that too. So it's an all staff effort, and it's already started. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 24, executive session, 24A. Pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. Item B is pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C11 regarding litigation when action against, affecting, or on behalf of the village has been filed and is pending before a court, or when the village finds that an action is probable or imminent. And can we get a motion to go into executive session, and then we will adjourn our meeting out of executive session? Trustee Alfano?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Corkery?
I'll second.
Second. Any questions? Clerk Kornecki?
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Corkery?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
President Cazone?
Yes. Okay, so we will go into executive session. We will adjourn our meeting out of there. Hope everyone has a great week and enjoy the nice weather.